This episode of the Brilliance Plus Passion podcast is brought to you by the Podcast Reach System. Are you ready to exponentially reach more profitable customers? Launching and hosting your own show is your proven best solution for networking, client attraction, and establishing your celebrity expert brand. Visit www.podcastreachsystem.com and claim your rightful place as the leading star of your industry so you make a difference for your community, market, and audience. Welcome to the Brilliance Plus Passion podcast. Join us as we celebrate entrepreneurs, business creators, and brilliant minds who reveal what they are doing to make the world a better place by being part of it. Be sure to visit our website at www.brilliancepluspassion.com. While you're there, subscribe to us via your favorite network. Now sit back, lean in, tune in, get your notepad and 2 pens ready, and let's get started.
Hi, my name is Adam Homey. I'm your host, and I am honored by your wise decision to tune in and invest in yourself today. Right now, we are speaking with Aidan Sowa, who is the founder of the Sowa Marketing Agency. He's an entrepreneur who got into the digital marketing space in 2016 due to working with MIT Enterprise Forum, Cambridge. He has his own agency. He's got a lot of stuff going on. You can find out more about him by visiting our website at www.brilliancepluspassion.com, scrolling to this episode and reading the show notes. He has a very impressive biography. So let's begin the conversation. Aidan, welcome aboard.
Yeah, good to be on the show.
All right, so the first question we like to ask folks who visit us here is, how does the work you do make the world a better place for your clients, customers, and the world at large?
Yeah, I always like to tell my clients quickly that branding yourself as an authority is not just something which is like fooling your customers, is actually getting them to go to if you have a legitimate service, it's best for them to go to you. So by having them go to you, you're providing a great quality service, your customers are more happy, they don't get scammed, and everyone's much better off as a result.
Right. So what is it that you actually do? I know you run an agency, but tell us in your own words so that our listeners better understand how you serve your community, market, and audience.
Yeah, so essentially what we do is we focus on establishing our clients as authorities within their industry. And we do
Right.
this by featuring them into podcasts, getting them featured onto major TV sites, etc.
Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. So in your experience, what are a few of the most common questions that people ask, like the frequently asked questions that they share with you as they're going through their process of deciding to work with you?
Yeah, so first off, a lot of our clients, they always ask us oh, what's the return on investment on this? What is the best timing? Those are common questions. And the third thing, which I would say, which clients ask me is they say, is this worth it? Is the investment actually worth the cost?
I see. I got it. What are a few questions you wish they would ask?
Yeah, so I wish they would ask me what else should I be doing within my company in terms of outreach? Is there anything I can use? How do I actually utilize this to its full potential?
Right. So let's shift gears for a moment and get to know you as an individual and give our listeners a chance to see more about you as well.
Mhm.
What would people who know you be surprised to learn about you?
Yeah, I would say that right now, a lot of people would be surprised at the struggles which I face. I look kind of like a younger person, so they might not expect all the different stuff I've had to go through already as an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So they might not expect I've already been in business for at least 2 years and kind of really went through a lot of trenches along the way.
Right. What are a few of the things that you experience? Because as entrepreneurs, we all go through things. Like, I had my entrepreneurial journey delayed by 2 years simply because I didn't know what I didn't know, and I didn't know there were questions I could be asking.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, my entrepreneurial journey was delayed by around 1 year. I wanted to start a marketing agency a little bit earlier, but I would say one of the big things is when I was first starting at my company, I was this client who wanted to just do a chargeback, and it was a little bit frightening with only a couple thousand in the bank at the time.
Yeah. I had a couple chargeback experiences of my own. I mean, my record is almost perfect when it comes to these things. One of them was the result. I found out that a joint venture partner of mine was playing games with my merchant account. So that was something that wasn't even my fault. And then there's another case, and this is one I laugh about this day because it's also happened to clients of mine, where I did a consulting project for a client. They told me how much they loved it. And then the very next day, I got notified that they were initiating a chargeback on me. I thought, what? Okay, here's what happened. When I logged into the online control panel for the credit card they used to pay me, they meant to initiate a chargeback on the, I think it was the plumber that was right below my charge on their statements, and they checked the wrong box. So I got them to write a letter to their own credit card company stating they meant it as an absolute error and asking that my funds please be restored to me. And it was actually the credit card company that then tried to give us a hard time. I mean, you have the vendor and the customer in alignment that this was an oopsie and please put the money there. The money was intended to go. And the credit card company wants to launch an investigation. What?
Yeah. It's really weird. These credit card companies, they're not easy to deal with.
Right. And it's sometimes hard to tell which side they're really on. So, I mean, I'm excited about alternative currencies, different ways of doing business, different ways of compensating, different ways of getting money from the system. And I speak about this very frequently. So, yeah, that's something that I think a lot of entrepreneurs deal with is the money insecurity. And part of that's driven by the lack of information out there about where the money really is.
Yeah,
Because it's there. It's there. There's no doubt about that.
for sure. I mean, like trillions of dollars are just printed just during this whole pandemic. So
Yeah.
even more. Yeah.
Right. It's there. So what do you hope people say about you, Aidan, when you're not around to hear it?
Yeah, I would love for people to be talking about how I actually inspired them to actually quit their 9 to 5 and start a business.
Right. Yeah. So I think that, and again, I'll tell you my story briefly. After I finished my MBA, I caught the entrepreneurial bug. So for 2 years, I was starting this side hustle. And at the same time, I got promoted diagonally at the company where I'd had my day job for 2 years. And I was on the fence which way I was going to go. Well, there was this one Friday in November of 2004 where my decision was made for me when I discovered what an obtuse moron my boss's boss was. And so I called one of my mentors, who's also one of my clients, and he made me an offer. And it was real simple. He said, dude, here's what you got to do. You go into that office on Monday, and if they want to keep their shit up, what you do is you hand them a piece of paper. It says, I quit effective immediately. Do that, walk out, call me, and I will immediately give you $3,000. You'll see it in your PayPal before you even make it home. I didn't believe in that. I didn't believe that was possible. So I turned it down and I sat there for another 8 months trying to figure it all out. See, here's the learning experience for me, and I want to share this because I think this is important for entrepreneurs. My client actually had what I like to call a selfish reason for making that offer, and it was very simple. If he could give me money to get me out of that job so that I could sprout my business full time, then he and I could do a lot more stuff together. And he wanted to do a lot more stuff with me because it wouldn't be a side gig anymore. It'd be my gig. He and I could work together all the time. That was his motivation. It wasn't a loan. It wasn't payment in advance for services to be named later. He was gifting me. I didn't think that people just went around giving people $3,000. But my mind and my thought process were not developed yet to the point where I could look at it from, what is his selfish motivation for just handing me $3,000? And if I'd have seen that, I would have grabbed that money. Grabbed it. Because I knew enough to know that I could, between that and my PTO payoff and money I had saved, I had at least a few good months to make a go at it before I even had to land another customer.
Yeah,
so I was good to go with that. So I tell this story because I want entrepreneurs who find themselves in situations where something that on the surface may seem too good to be true to do their due diligence, because a lot of times when it's too good to be true, it actually is. But however, to understand the motivations of all involved, and be willing to ask the questions. If I had even asked him, if I said like, yo, man, hey, bro, why are you just throwing $3,000 at me? What's up with that? He's the kind of personality who would have told me that it was because he wanted to get me out of that job so that he and I could work together more. But I never asked. I didn't know you were supposed to ask questions like that, but you are.
Yeah.
So that's part of what I see you and I having in common, is helping to enlighten entrepreneurs to what the real possibilities are and how to find your path, especially when you don't always know what you don't know and don't even know the questions to ask.
Exactly. And $3,000, that can go a long way as like an entrepreneur, like in terms of investing.
The time I didn't have my own place, I had that. I had enough of a PTO payout coming from my company, regardless of how I left, that it would have amounted to 4 more paychecks or 2 more months of just me continuing to live as I was. I had all my debts paid, all of them except for the student loan, which is no big deal. I had money in the bank, thousands of dollars of money in the bank. I was good to go indefinitely, but I just could not see it. And so I tell this story because I want to help people see it. So you already know my answer to the next question. If I could go back in time and change one thing I've done or one thing I've experienced and what it would be and why, mine is I would have grabbed that money. What's yours?
Yeah, for me, I would have probably started the business like a couple of years earlier. I had the idea. I knew like that would probably work, but I was held back by my parents who just told me that like I would never ever make any money within the digital marketing business. It was all just like a pyramid scheme. And I wish I'd just gone for it anyway, because I would
Right.
have been a little bit farther ahead.
Right. Well, I participated in some MLMs too, and I was that person who usually jumped out after the first day. It's because, again, I didn't know the questions to ask, and I didn't know the belief system that would enable me to succeed. But all I heard was a message of, oh, that get rich quick stuff doesn't work. What you got to do is you got to get a job. You got to keep your head down. You got to put up with the nonsense, and then you stay focused and you stay dedicated. And in 10 years, you'll get a promotion, and then you'll finally be making money.
Yeah. And then like 65 you'll retire, right?
Oh yeah, because they still give you the gold watch, and the shack in Fort Lauderdale is still there. Okay. So, what famous person, alive or dead, would you like to meet? And if you had the opportunity, what questions would you have for them?
Yeah, I would probably meet up with Warren Buffett. I'm a huge fan of his when it comes to like investments. So I'd probably meet up with him, ask him like about like what stocks like he's currently looking to be invested in. Um,
Right. Okay. Yeah. I like a lot of what he has to say. What motivates and inspires you to keep going when you're having a tough time or facing a challenge?
I would say like one of the biggest things is like I'm surrounded by like a lot of really successful entrepreneurs, like 7, 8 figure entrepreneurs. So whenever I'm having a difficult day, like sometimes they send me a message and they just telling me about like some really huge deal which they just landed. So that pushes me forward. I'm like, wait, so if they're able to go that far, why am I just closing like the small deal? I should be focusing on so much bigger.
Yeah. Absolutely. So finally, Aidan, I know you have a special invitation for our audience, and I will share that with them. But in general, before I get to that, right now, what is one action you encourage our listeners to take as soon as they finish listening to this episode?
Yeah, I would say like the biggest thing is to just start taking action and like just doing as
Yeah,
much outreach as possible towards like generating clients.
exactly. So right now, first of all, Aidan, so I want to thank you so much for being with us today. And I'm going to share the invitation now. For those who are watching this on www.brilliancepluspassion.com, you now see it on your screen. For those of you who are out jogging, I will say it and spell it once. The website is sowaagency.co. SOWAAGENCY.co. That's Aidan's website. This is a creative agency that works with you to help you achieve next level design and authority. The thing is, you have the vision for a stunning digital experience, and this is the design and press team that can bring it to life. Aidan shared a little bit earlier about what some of the services are that they offer. Bear in mind that this is one of Rhode Island's premier media agencies. They've been featured on Fox, BuzzFeed. I'm thinking about Buzz, Yahoo Finance, Forbes, and so many more. You can visit their website. They have some case studies right on the front page. You can see some of the results with actual screenshots. So if you are looking for that type of support in your business and your entrepreneurial venture, Aidan is somebody you should certainly speak with, because right on the front page of his website, he shows you the real results. So again, that's sowaagency.co. And Aidan, thank you so much for being with us today. It's been an honor, and believe me, in education.
Yeah, it's been cool to be on the show.
All right.
Thank you for tuning into the Brilliance Plus Passion podcast, where we celebrate entrepreneurs, business creators, and brilliant minds who are making a difference for their community, market, and audience. Remember to visit our website at www.brilliancepluspassion.com and enjoy even more great episodes like this one. Again, while you're here, subscribe to us via your favorite network. We look forward to seeing you next time on the Brilliance Plus Passion podcast.